We want to go inside the main event for the Harris campaign now, down in the yard at Howard University.
Yeah, our Marcella Robertson is there and monitoring all of the excitement. And the last time we saw you, Marcella, there were rehearsals for what is to come later this evening. What do we know about what we're waiting for?
Yeah, good evening to you both. I mean, what a change in the mood and really just the energy since the last time that we checked in with you both. Hundreds of people have now filed into the yard or onto the yard here at Howard University, and really just you can feel the excitement here on campus. Just about 5 minutes ago, the crowd erupted as the DJ announced that Vice President Harris had won Maryland and here in the district. I want to give you a sense of what this looks like here because it's hard to tell from just right behind me. Just hundreds of people have filed here onto the yard. You see a sea of Howard University students, members of the Divine Nine, black sororities and fraternities. Of course, we know Vice President Harris is a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And not just important to mention their support here today, but they have also been working really hard throughout this campaign cycle to push to get out the vote as well. So also important to mention, of course, this is Vice President Harris's alma mater. She graduated here in 1986, and her campaign hopes that she will eventually take the stage here again on the yard and give a victory speech. If she is elected, we know she would be making history again as the first female president of the United States. This here is a private event here at Howard University. It is ticketed only, not open to the public. But we know that in this final stretch at rallies over the last few days that Vice President Harris has really been pushing this message of unity, really wanting people to know that she would be the president for everyone. And we have heard her kind of repeat this line over and over, saying that if she were to be elected, she would go to the White House and start working on her to-do list. Meantime, her opponent, former President Donald Trump, would just be stewing over his enemies list. And she has really also pledged in these final days of this campaign to seek common ground, not just with her supporters, but with those who disagree with her as well.
I don't believe that people who disagree with me are the enemy. I'll give them a seat at the table. That's what real leaders do. That's what strong leaders do. And I pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans.
And we know how incredibly tight this race is. I've been keeping an eye on some of the recent exit polls that have been coming out. A recent CBS exit poll showing that the top issues for Harris supporters are democracy and abortion. When we're talking about democracy, they are talking about the state of democracy. That is what has driven a lot of her supporters out to the polls because they fear what would happen if former President Donald Trump were to be reelected. What would the state of democracy look like? And of course, abortion, another important issue for a lot of her supporters, and that has really driven women out to the polls, reproductive rights, and what the future of that would look like. But again, back out here live on the yard at Howard University, you can really just feel the excitement. We know that Vice President Harris is expected to take the stage at some point tonight, not exactly sure when, but you have hundreds of people anxiously waiting out here for that moment. Back to you guys.